So today we're going to talk about our belief systems and changing our blueprint. You see, we all have a blueprint of how life works, of how relationships work, or how finances work, how things are supposed to work with our children, how things are supposed to work in our day living. Some of that comes because we've seen it from our parents, we've seen it from our upbringing, we've seen it throughout our lives because that's what we've looked for, so we've been exposed to that, and we've created that. So we create this blueprint. So a lot of unhappiness comes when things do not match this blueprint. For example, I had a couple I was working with once, and he was talking about how this person always argued and liked to fight. And this other person was saying how she doesn't feel like she's unhappy because he's not connected to the relationship. So not attached to the relationship, not emotionally there. And I asked, so why makes you feel that way? And the person said, because when I argue with them, they do not engage. They walk away. Because her blueprint is that love has to be associated with arguing. Because when you are emotionally attached, you can't help it but argue back. And then there's the makeup, and then everything's great. So they've caught in that cycle of emotions, but that is their blueprint. That is her blueprint. So we all, again, have a blueprint, but the good thing is that we can choose to change it, or we can choose to change our environment to match our blueprint. So if it's making us unhappy, you can choose to say, well, this blueprint doesn't serve me, and I can change it, or I can change the circumstances around me to make fit my blueprint so I can live a happier life. So again, I'll give you an example of a relationship. If you're in a relationship and you're used to the woman does this and the man does this, or vice versa, whatever it is, and the person doesn't meet that role, you might get frustrated with them because they do not match that blueprint. So you got to ask yourself, does it fit me to try to change them, or does it fit me to maybe change my blueprint or my expectations? And if so, can we talk so that I can understand their blueprint, because they might have a different blueprint that's then clashing with our blueprint, and communication goes a long way. Same thing can happen with our coworkers. We might have expectations when we give them something or we do something for them to react a certain way, but their blueprint might be very different. We have a blueprint how we apologize. We have a blueprint how we express and receive love. So again, everyone is very differently. Fortunately, again, is that we can change that blueprint. And this has been shown in many studies that even our actions can change our blueprints and belief systems. In fact, companies are using that on you right now to change your blueprint. For example, one thing that United Way does to raise funds is that they'll get you to wear a pin before they go into your company. So maybe a few days or even a week before that, they'll have everyone that get free stickers or get them to wear a pin, because they know that if they do that, when they come and ask for money, you're more likely to give, because you've already committed to them. You've already shown that they are part of your belief system, of your blueprint. So something just as small as that can change your belief system about giving to others just by wearing something. Or they've shown that putting a sign in front of your house, for example, that you have a belief system about something, like I vote for, I support, whatever is, change this amendment or whatever it is, or having you sign something, that because you signed it in your brain, now you're committed to it. Now it's part of your belief system. So then you recreate your blueprint to something that maybe you weren't strong about before. Maybe you didn't even have a strong opinion about. And that's how easy that actions can help shift your blueprints on what you want to change in your life. So again, seeing someone else's blueprint can be very powerful. And then moving ahead to your own blueprints and then picking some way, an action that moves ahead to helping you change that blueprint. Sometimes it's just finding evidence that that blueprint is not real. For example, I talk to a lot of people that say, well, you just can't move ahead. The economy sucks. And they create that as part of their blueprint, that there isn't opportunities out there. But when I expose them to people that are succeeding, regardless of the economy, that are growing their business, they're creating wealth, they're moving up in companies, they can find jobs. And once they start getting exposed to these things, they start saying, maybe my belief system and my blueprint is wrong. And they can change their blueprint by being exposed to it. Sometimes it just takes action. So am I being the person that I want to be? Am I being the person in the relationship that I want to be? If not, then you can take steps to change that by taking those action steps, even writing it down. I am committing to loving, caring relationship where I accept this person for who they are, blah, blah, blah. Writing it down and signing it to yourself can make such a big impact. Again, companies use this now. Governments use this to create somebody who will be willing to vote and go into their belief systems. So what I want you to do, what your fun work is I want you to pick one belief system or one part of your blueprint that you have that does not serve you or that you want to change because it does not create happiness in your life. And then or take away happiness from your life. So then I want you to create what action steps are you going to take to either change your blueprint of how you see it, whether it's exposure or whether it's writing something down to help you shift it, whether it's looking for different ways for you to view the situation, you can do that as well. Or what can you do or what steps can you take to change your environment or the situation to help it match your blueprint? Again, if it comes to relationships and you're trying to change someone, good luck with that because it might work short term, but long term is up to the person to change, whether it's a coworker or a person in your life. So a lot of times it's about reframing your blueprint or shifting the way that you see the situation. That's more powerful. So again, write one thing that you want to change a belief system, and then I want you to take that action step. And if you even want to take a next step further, you can pick more than one part of your blueprints, a belief system, write a couple down, and then see how you can change those to help you create more happiness in your life.